Hello, my lovely listeners. I'm Dr. Mary Barson.
And I'm Dr. Lucy Burns. Welcome to this episode of Real Health and Weight Loss. Mary, hello, darling. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Very excited about today's topic, where we are discussing the green list, the wonderful low inflammatory and low carb foods that you can eat to get well.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, I know last week we talked about the red list, so I guess if people are wondering what this magical red and green list are, maybe you could just let us know.
Yeah. So the red list includes the high carb or high inflammatory foods that we recommend you avoid or severely limit if you want to nurture your hormones back to health and lose weight naturally and sustainably. So we have discussed the red list, and today we're going to get onto the all-important green list, which includes lots of delicious, healthy, real foods that you can eat to get well.
Awesome. That sounds good. So I guess let everyone in on the secret. What are the green lists?
Basically, the green lists include real foods that are also low in carbohydrates, what we like to call low carb real food. And it includes dairy, delicious full fat dairy. Be sure that it does not have any added sugar, and be sure that it is not low fat. Natural, whole, full fat dairy without added sugar, such as cheese, your cottage cheese, your cream cheese, your brie, all good. Halloumi, all fine. Full cream milk, a little bit of milk is fine. We don't advocate that people drink a lot of milk because it is somewhat high in carbs with its lactose, but a bit of full fat milk is fine. You do not want low fat milk. Low fat milk is very high in sugar, and indeed people just call it white soda or white soft drinks. Also included in the green list is other kind of dairy alternatives like coconut cream, as long as it's not highly processed with lots of added seed oils, as well as coconut yogurt. Veggies, the all-important veggies. As a general rule of thumb, you want to eat veggies that grow above ground. And generally speaking, avoid veggies that grow below ground. So above ground veggies includes so many delicious, fabulous veggies, a whole rainbow of veggies, all of your leafy greens, your eggplants, your celeries, and as well as the non-classical veggies like tomatoes and cucumbers. So many above ground delicious veggies.
What about corn?
Yes. So there are a few exceptions to this. Some high carb veggies include corn and also pumpkin.
Do you know what I often say? Because corn's kind of a grain. I mean, in America it's really processed like a grain, and I often say to patients, just treat corn like a grain. We feed it to chickens, it's grain. There we go. Makes it simple.
Yeah, totally. It is biologically, it's related to rice and millet. It is a grain. I back you up on that one, Lucy.
Excellent. Good. Sorry, I interrupted with my enthusiasm to sort of myth bust corn.
Yes, that's right. All of these lovely above ground veggies, including mushrooms, which are not technically a veggie, and nuts and seeds definitely can be included in the green list, as is all of your healthy fats.
Ooh, tell us about fat. Surely fat's going to clog your arteries.
Ha! Yeah, no. So healthy whole fat is actually a really important part of our diet for a whole lot of reasons. First of all, fat does not elevate insulin. So it is a food that doesn't cause the elevation in insulin, which locks the metaphorical woodshed and keeps our fat stores locked away. And we need fat. It has lots of essential nutrients in it, including fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K that we cannot get if we do not eat at least some fat in our diet. And we don't need heaps, but we do need some.
So more than has been previously recommended on the low-fat diet, for example.
Absolutely. The low-fat diet, unfortunately, is not sustainable for long-term health and weight loss. You want to eat low-carb, real food so that you can get to the root cause. That's what it's all about, the root cause of fat gain, of weight gain, of obesity is elevated insulin. And you nurture your hormones back to health with real food.
I think it's really interesting because certainly when I grew up, it was all about low fat, and we were given this image, which most people I think have in their mind, of, you know, fat clogging your arteries, like fat going down a drain, and it's all blobbed up with, you know, gross lumps of fat, and that's what everyone's still quite fearful of. It's really quite a fear. So I think we've listened to this message that, you know, fat is bad, and we're all suffering because of it.
I completely agree. The fear of fats, I think, has become very damaging in our society. And you don't have to look very far to see that the dominant dietary dogma of low-fat, high-carb that was introduced in the 70s is not right. Our health as a society has basically plummeted, and rates of obesity and diabetes and metabolic disease have ballooned. So really, the key message here is real food, and fat is part of real food. We evolved to eat it, it's natural, and indeed, it's healthy.
I think it's so important, isn't it? Because it wasn't that long ago that eggs were demonized for having high cholesterol. And then we were told, well, you can have the egg white, just throw out the yolk. And instead of having these, you know, beautiful natural products, you could have a tub of margarine instead.
Yes, absolutely. The poor old egg has been much maligned, which is very sad because it's an extremely nutritious food, particularly the yolk being the most nutritious part of it. And I'm glad you mentioned margarine, because it's very important here that we mention that not all fats are created equal. The green list includes healthy, natural fats. Those are fats that come from animal fats. Pretty much all animal fats are natural and healthy, such as butter, lard, tallow, duck fat. These are all really, really healthy and okay to eat. And that can be a very strange concept for people, but it is true. It also includes minimally processed plant fats like coconut oil and olive oil. Even avocado oil and macadamia oil are fats that are minimally processed. What it does not include is industrial seed oils. Industrialized seed oils, which include canola oil, sunflower oil, safflower seed oil. These seed oils, which have been rebranded as vegetable oils, even though they have nothing to do with vegetables, these are very inflammatory and not good for your health.
Maz, maybe you could explain to our listeners what's the big deal? What is the big deal about seed oils?
Yeah, so the big deal with seed oils is there's a few problems with them. The first one is that they're really highly processed and really quite unstable. That is, that they go off really quickly. If you leave margarine, which is full of seed oils, out of the fridge, it goes rancid pretty quickly. And when we eat it, it gets incorporated into our body, incorporated into our cells, and actually goes rancid in our body and can cause inflammation that way, which is quite horrible. Whereas stable natural fats like butter, like extra virgin olive oil, don't do that. The other aspect, and this is really important, is that industrial seed oils are really high in omega-6 fatty acids. There's 2 essential fatty acids that we humans need to eat because our bodies can't make them, omega-3 and omega-6. And we do definitely need both of them, but we need them to be in the correct ratios. Too much omega-6 and we are set up for inflammation, which is causes a whole lot of diseases. Pretty much every chronic disease you can think of, from diabetes to autoimmunity, inflammation is implicated. So we need to get the ratios about right between omega-3 and omega-6. From an evolutionary point of view, we probably ate a diet of about 1-to-1. Healthy omega-3s and a little bit of omega-6s of a ratio about 1-to-1, and that's probably what most people need. But since the advent of cheap industrialized seed oils and vegetable oils, the ratio has dramatically shifted to people now on a standard Australian diet or standard American diet can eat maybe 1-to-30, sometimes even 1-to-60. 60 times as much omega-6 as omega-3, with devastating effects on our health.
So what you're saying is that if omega-3, I mean, most people know about omega-3 from fish oil tablets, so they're anti-inflammatory, and omega-6 are pro-inflammatory. So the ratio of 1-to-1 is fine or similar. But now we've got 1-to-30 or 1-to-60. So 60 times the amount of pro-inflammatory fatty acids around our body.
That's right.
That's ridiculous.
It is, and it is making us sick. And they're everywhere. Omega-3 fatty acids, as you mentioned, they're in fish. It's a really good source, fish and seafood, as is grass-fed meat and chickens that have been pastured and have had access to grass. These are good sources of omega-3. Vegetarian sources include chia seeds and flax seeds and algae. A little bit trickier if you're a vegetarian. It takes effort to ensure that you get enough omega-3s in your diet, but it takes possibly even more effort to ensure that you don't get too many omega-6s, because seed oils are everywhere.
A lot of people are aware of this, and patients will come in and they say, oh, no, I don't cook in anything but olive oil, or I don't cook in anything but butter. But the problem is that the seed oils have wangled their way into everything, including things like bread. I know I was looking once for dips. I was trying to find a dip that didn't have seed oil in it. I found some minuscule amount of hummus that was like $15 or something. And I thought, oh, I'm just going to go and make up my own dip. I mean, seriously. I was so disappointed to see that a really lovely goat cheese that I used to buy, it's marinated in canola oil. So I think it's really important for people to read the packaging and understand that something might say olive oil on the front. That's a little bit of olive oil and a lot of canola oil. Marketing mischief. In fact, marketing mischief is one of our favourite topics to discuss, and we have got quite a few blog series where we're exposing, I guess, marketing mayhem, as I like to call it, because really I think it's good for people to understand that food companies, their job is to sell you their product. Their job is not to ensure you're healthy. They don't actually take any responsibility for that, or probably even care. They're really just interested in selling your product. So when something says, like Mary said, olive oil blend, or my favourite, good source of fibre, never mind the 200 kilos of sugar that comes with that, or any of these sorts of tricks, you know what, we're smarter than them. So our big thing, and we will do this coming up in a couple of weeks, we've got a great episode on how to read nutritional labels, but definitely just read. Take your glasses with you to the supermarket, or a magnifying glass. It's so worth it. I need a magnifying glass these days.
And it really comes down to real food. If you eat and prepare delicious, healthy, and indeed they can be very simple meals out of real food, then you completely divorce yourself from the problems of processed food and from these companies that would hijack our health if we let them.
Absolutely. And you know what, I think the thing, you just hit the nail on the head there with the idea that real food can be simple, but it doesn't mean it's tasteless and boring. Okay, we were talking, fresh And look, this is a bit of Jamie Oliver sort of stuff, but the whole idea of fresh food, simple, prepared with some olive oil dressing, some beautiful salt, a few herbs from the garden, and you take something boring into something Shazam in about 5 minutes.
Absolutely. I think, Lucy, that you and I should list 3 of our favourite low-carb, real food, simple meals.
Great, you go first.
So I love just a nice piece of grilled salmon with a squeeze of lemon, a little bit of butter and salt on it, with some delicious steamed asparagus with salt and a bit of olive oil on the asparagus. Amazing. I honestly really, really love scrambled eggs, and I would love scrambled eggs with steamed broccoli. Amazing. I also love to make a bolognese pasta sauce with lovely grass-fed beef and lots of delicious veggies in there that I eat over steamed broccoli.
Beautiful. Broccoli features heavily.
I eat a lot of broccoli. Yeah, it's true.
Excellent. Well, first of all, I love a piece of steak. Good. My husband is the best barbecuer. I am grateful for that. He's a very good barbecuer. So we usually have our steak barbecued, and I like it rare. So I'll have steak with some garlic butter and then a salad. That's always a bonus in our house. But I'm a bit of a bowl girl. I like my meals in a bowl these days because I don't have any rice or pasta, which probably would come in a bowl anyway. But often my meals have quite a bit of sauce in them. So something like satay chicken or a chicken curry is one of my faves. And there's plenty of little spice companies around that you can buy at markets that have good whole spices in them. Or if you're looking for something in a supermarket, and for those of you who've followed me, I love this product. It's called Mingle. And the reason I love it is that it's just real food. It's just spices. There's no fillers. There's no sugar. There's no rice flour. So you can get these sachets of flavour, and they make real food so easy. So curry features heavily, and it'll be basically I just get a slab of beef, chop it up, fling it in a pot, add some onion, a sachet of whatever flavouring I've got, it's often the curry, a couple of veggies and a tin of coconut cream, and bam, it's on the table in 20 minutes. That's it, lovelies. It can't be any simpler. So when companies or when ads are telling you that you don't have time to cook, we don't believe them. They're saying that because they want you to buy their rubbish. Anyway, don't let me get started. You'll hear me over the time. I'm banging on a lot, but I love banging the real food drum. So we'll see you all lovelies next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye, darlings. So, my lovely listeners, that ends this episode of Real Health and Weight Loss. I'm Dr. Lucy Burns.
And I'm Dr. Mary Barson. We're from Real Life Medicine. To contact us, please visit rlmedicine.com.
And until next time, thanks for listening.